Hey everyone, so this is the course navigation video for the health insurance course. If you are taking this course with me at Solano, it is OT061. If you are taking this course with me at Contra Costa College, then the course number is Medic 237. So I happen to have the Solano course pulled up here. The Contra Costa course navigation will be very similar, sans maybe one page may be different, but otherwise I set the courses up nearly mirrored. So whether you are seeing this in a Medic 237 orientation module or the OT061 orientation module, it's all going to look the same to you and will all work the same. So once you log into Canvas, you will land on your dashboard. From your dashboard, you're going to want to select the health insurance course, and that will bring you to the home page. And so on the home page, you can see that there are several icons here, the very first icon will be the Start Here icon. That will take you to the course orientation module. And then you will have another icon that is for an online orientation. You're going to work through these two modules the very first week of class. The course orientation module takes you all through how the course is set up, things you need to know, things you need to be aware of, what is expected of you, all of those types of things. And then the online orientation module, I will click into that very quickly, is geared more towards students who need either a refresher or are brand new learners to the distance education world. So if this is your first time in college or it's your first time taking an online class, this will be an excellent resource for you because it will walk you through how to do all of this stuff online and will hopefully get you ready to be the most successful student you can be in this course and any other distance education course that you may be taking. So there's lots of information in that online learning orientation. Different things. There's an overview for each section. There's 4 sections. There's an overview for each one. Some of them have little quizzes. I just noticed I put this in here twice, so I need to take that back. Oh, no, that's the introduction, and then there's the quiz. Getting tech ready. Here you will also find contact information for tech support. In the overview down here in one of these pages, let me find it. I think it's down here in Becoming an Effective Online Learner is where you will find the tech support information. How to, oh, there it is, getting technical support right there. Navigating Canvas, working in Canvas, organizing for online success, study skills, time management, all of these types of things, netiquette. And then at Solano, there is a page on how to install Lockdown Browser. If you are seeing this orientation video at Contra Costa, it is a page on how to install the Proctorio test proctoring application. So that's where the difference is in these orientation modules between the two schools that I teach at. Otherwise, all pretty much looks the same. So we're going to go back home to the home page, and I'm going to click on the Start Here, and you're going to see that that's going to bring you right into this Start Here course orientation. You will see the little banner up at the top that says a lot of the icons on the home page also link to a page here in the orientation module for easy future reference. But some of these pages are not linked to the home page, so you want to make sure that you read each of these pages from top to bottom in this module and complete all of the tasks that are associated with these pages, which are going to be down here in the orientations assignments module. Okay, so aside from these two modules, the course orientation and the student online learning orientation, all the rest of the modules are built pretty much the same. And that's how pretty much any course you ever take with me will work. You will see that there are very few options over here in the navigation pane on the left-hand side of the page. You'll have your home button, which will have all of those icons, of course, linked on the front page. We'll finish talking about those in just a moment. You'll have the announcements icon, where you can see announcements that I post weekly for you. Those announcements are also, the most recent one is also linked up here. Sometimes there's the most recent two linked up there. You will have a modules option, and the modules are weekly for the most part, with the exception of these first three. After that, they are weekly modules, and so you'll see they're labeled week 2, week 3, week 4, and so on. Each module will have a header, tells you what we're doing, what we're studying that module. You will have a learning objectives and material page in the module that shows you what it is that the unit is going to discuss and what you're going to learn about, and then what the learning objectives are for the unit. So after completing the chapter, those learning objectives are the things that you should be able to do, and then what you need to do in order to achieve those learning objectives listed above there. Below that, you'll find the lecture information for the chapter. Oftentimes there will be videos linked in there. There's always going to be a PowerPoint that you can download. This is typically just the stock PowerPoint that comes from the publisher. I don't do much to these because I often offer some type of alternative lecture. But if you are a fan of PowerPoints or slideshows, these are here for you. And then let me minimize that. If you want to look, this minimize and maximize feature is a great feature to decide if you want to print something. I like to have hard copies of a lot of things. I'm kind of old school like that, but I also really like to conserve paper and do what I can for the environment. So if it's something I think that I can probably just read online and not have to print, then I can get by without using paper, then this feature will help me sometimes decide that. So this, for instance, is a cheat sheet for health insurance math formulas. This might be something you would want to keep handy, so you may want to print this because you're going to be doing insurance math from time to time throughout the course. So this may be something you would want to print, whereas the PowerPoint may not be. So what you print, what you decide to print is not to print, excuse me, is completely up to you. But you can use that minimize and maximize to see, you know, what you want to do and what you don't want to do. So anyway, there's things linked in here for you to check out. Supplemental material. Here's the lecture map for this chapter that I wrote out, and then here's the video that covers this lecture map that I recorded going through the map that I wrote out for the chapter. So this preview is taking forever to load. So let me close that. An additional insurance math video that I've linked in there, and then most of the chapters will also have a study stack that I have created in Quizlet to help you study the terms. Now this is kind of cool because you can go down here and you can choose a study mode. It automatically loads in the matching mode, but if you decide you don't like to do matching, you just want to do flashcards, you can switch it down here in the choose a study mode and do flashcards. You can do learning, where you answer every term correctly twice to finish. You can test yourself on the terms. If you think you already know them, you can test yourself by typing in the answers. So there's a lot of different ways that you can study the vocab terms from each chapter, many of which are related to test questions. So this is a good idea if you want extra practice studying. So aside from the learning objectives and pages in each chapter, there will also be in most modules a discussion board. You will be able to see the discussion board prompts, and you will want to make sure that you read all the directions, and you will notice at the bottom that replies are only visible to those who have posted at least one reply. So you can't see what anybody else says until you post your reply. Discussion board initial replies are always due on Thursday by 11:59 p.m. and then your replies to 2 peers are always due on Sundays. Again, make sure you read all the information for the prompts and answer all the questions to get the full points on the rubric. Going back into the module, you will also have a homework assignment that's linked. Now this links out, it's a direct link to your MyLab. So we're going to get to registering for MyLab in just a minute. but you need to make sure that you are registered and up and running with MyLab in order to get your homework to work. Okay, so I'm going to minimize this module because we're done with that. We're done with that. All of the rest of the modules pretty much look the same. It's a learning objectives and material page, a discussion board, homework. Every now and then you'll have an exam. And that's pretty much it for how the module system works. I like to keep things pretty consistent and easy to navigate, so if you have questions about that, please do let me know. Otherwise, it's pretty self-explanatory. So the next tab down is the MyLab and Mastering tab. And this is where, if you have not purchased an access code from the bookstore, you can do so here. There's a whole separate video on how to do this in the orientation module under the tutorials page, so make sure you check that out if you need help working through this section. Your grades tab is where you're going to keep track of all of your grades. This page has a really cool actually two really cool features. You can arrange the grades by due date. You can arrange them by module if you would like to. I like to do them by module just because that's kind of how things are going to be also due. And there is another way, or there's another feature that's pretty cool. You can put in these, we call them what if scores. So say you know you're going on vacation like around Thanksgiving, and you know you're probably not going to do your homework that week, which I do not advise, but it happens. So if you know you're not going to do your homework and you want to put in a 0 maybe for that week's homework, you can do that and it will reflect down at the bottom how it would change your grade. So say we get a 10 here, a 10 here, but you know you're going to skip the last week's worth of assignments and say you did okay, you did really well on your final. So that gives you kind of an idea what would happen. If you skip that last week's worth of assignments, you would have a 62.9, considering we're only looking at these 4 assignments for the semester. But if you did that last week's assignments, you would have a 95. So that's the difference between failing the class and if you're at Contra Costa, that's the difference between failing and passing. If you're at Solano, that's the difference between a D and an A. So, you can use that feature to help you decide or help you simulate scores, which is pretty cool. Okay, next you have your syllabus feature, which has the calendar over here for you. All these little gray boxes tell you that there's stuff for you to do on those days or that there is something due. Every Sunday there will be stuff due, and most Thursdays there will be stuff due, with the exception of the first week. The first week you have things due on Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday, so pay very close attention to that. So it's basically just a running list of what you got to do and when it's due by. Your chat feature gives you the ability to chat with me if I am online. So if I'm online, you can see I'm logged in as a test student, then you would be able to chat with me. If you want to know if I respond to you while you're online, click that new message alert button over there. Okay, so back to this home page very quickly. You're going to want to work through all these links. Again, these are mostly linked to that course orientation module, but you're going to find a lot of important stuff in here. Course objectives, required textbook and technology. Oh, I need to fix the icons in here for these manuals. And grading policies, course policies, syllabus and schedule. There's a link to campus resources. Those will obviously be different depending on which campus you are taking this course with me at. And the tutorials page, this is important. This is where you're going to find that video on how to register for MyLab. Here is a video on how to use the e-textbook in MyLab. If you bought just the access code that comes with the free e-text, here is how to use the e-textbook. So you can watch that video. At Solano, there's information for how to use Lockdown Browser. If you're seeing this in a course at Contra Costa, there will be information here on how to download the Proctorio extension. Submitting assignments, And then lastly, Zoom conferencing. This is how you will contact me for meetings or office hours. There's also a link to this on the home page. If you have a webcam and a microphone and you are all set up on your computer and you're good to go, or you're Zooming from your phone, you can just click this Zoom with me and it will, but you need to let me know first, because if you click this and I don't know that you're on the other end of it, you're going to be staring at nothing for a very long time. So if you have an appointment with me and we have agreed to Zoom, then all you have to do to get to me for that Zoom is click this link right here. I think that's about it for our course orientation. If you have any questions at all, please do reach out via email, and I will be happy to answer those for you. Otherwise, welcome to class.